You're listening to Profit Without Worry, episode number 91. Today we're talking about 3 processes you need to grow your profit. And these probably are not what you're thinking. Hey there, I'm Michelle Evans, and this is the show where coaches, experts, and business owners like us get real about what it takes to create a profitable online business. I can tell you from experience that nonstop hustle plus random acts of marketing do not equal success. So how do we attract a steady flow of clients and sales without all the hustle? This is the Profit Without Worry podcast. Hey there, welcome back, and thanks so much for tuning in. Have you taken the time to subscribe to this show so that you never miss an episode? If not, it is so super easy to do. You can go to your podcast app of choice and just hit subscribe, or directly to the website at profitwithoutworry.com and you can register right there. And I'd love to connect with you. It's so easy to do. You can email me, michelle@michellelevans.com, or hit me up on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Tag me and use the hashtag ProfitWithoutWorry so that I see your message. Ask a question, leave a comment, or just say hi. I love to put a face with your name and know who's tuning in each and every week. All right, let's dive in to today's show. Today, we're going to talk about 3 processes you need to grow your profit. And honestly, these are probably not what you're thinking or what you've heard before. I'm not going to tell you to roll out some ginormous high-ticket offer. I'm not going to tell you to roll out a ton of marketing funnels, even though I love them. I'm not going to tell you to start running Facebook ads or do any other things, like all the things to improve your profits. Because here's the truth. When I was in a mastermind with 24 other business owners, one of the biggest topics of conversation that we always had was around how to increase profits. And in this mastermind, you had to be making at least $150,000 a year, and many people in there were making really close to $1 million in revenue. I want this to sink in for a minute, because there are a lot of people out there running around touting their revenue number, and they'll throw big numbers down that sound amazing, right? But what you and I don't know usually is what did it cost them to get those revenue numbers? Because revenue, my friend, revenue is only one part of the equation. It's an important part, obviously. I mean, without revenue, you will not have profit. You do need revenue for sure, but it's only a part. That didn't really sink in for me fully until a few years ago, when a friend from that mastermind wanted to sit down and talk about marketing funnels and Facebook ads with me. She was convinced that something was going wrong with her marketing because, she was making a lot of money. In fact, she was making over $650,000 a year in her business in revenue. And I thought she had it all figured out. I was really, really excited to take her on as a client because clearly she could sell, and clearly she had a following, and clearly she had an audience. Like, those are really fun people to work with. And we wanted to dive into her business because I could see huge potential for where we could take her. And as we dove into her numbers, a really hard truth hit us both in the face. It was costing her almost all of her revenue to run her business. When we took out all of her costs, she had very little left as money in her pocket. Now, thankfully, she came to me because she knew that she was paying too much for marketing, and we were able to get her business back on track quickly. We fixed some of the marketing profit suckers, as I like to call them, in her business, the things that she was doing that she thought she had to do, but that were really not bringing revenue in and really not aligned to her audience, etc. So we cut those out and we just focused on where her revenue drivers were. But it turned around really fast. She was super excited, and she's off and running and still doing it to this day. And it just goes to show you that you cannot judge a business's success by revenue alone. In fact, did you know that Amazon.com, like one of the biggest companies in the world, it made a ton of revenue for the first, 15 years in business, but very little profit. There's a lot of reasons for that. And look, if a business owner makes, I don't know, let's say $30,000 a year in her business, and it only costs her $5,000 to run that business, she's making $25,000 in profit, right? I mean, if you calculate it out, it's about an 83% profit margin, which is pretty amazing. Although, in that case, I might wonder if that person's leaving money on the table by not investing more, but that's another conversation. And then let's say that you have another business owner who makes $300,000 a year in her business, and it costs $275,000 to run it. She's also making a $25,000 profit. But in that case, the profit margin's 9%, which means that most of the money that she makes is going out the door as fast as it's coming in, which is fine if that's the state of her business and where she wants to be and where she's really clear on that. And just to be clear, a 9% profit margin isn't bad. Profit margins depend on so many factors. So depending on your goal and your focus, you get to choose what profit margin is right for you. I just want to illustrate that going by revenue alone is a really silly way to figure out if a business is growing and successful. And, a side note, what does success mean anyways? My version of success might be different than your version of success. My version of success might mean that I get to be super flexible and work no more than 20 hours a week. Your version of success might mean, you don't care how many hours you work. You just want to have a 7-figure launch. I mean, who knows? So, this is not a judgment at all about profit margins or anything like that. But I do want to talk about the three processes that you need to put into place to make sure that you're spending as you really want to spend, that you're not spending your revenue faster than you can make it, and that you're clear on your investments that you want to make to reach your goals, especially as it has to do with marketing, because marketing can suck money out of your pocket really fast if you're not clear on how it's, driving revenue for your business. So a lot of times, I will see people's Facebook ad stuff after they've worked with somebody else, and they come to me and they say, okay, help me figure this out. And usually the driver of that is that they've spent so much on Facebook ads and it hasn't turned into revenue. And so really getting clear on what are the revenue drivers, what are the audiences, what are the messages, what are the hooks, these are all such important things to know. So here's the 3 processes that you need to put in place to make sure that you have profit in your business, not just revenue. So thing number 1 is a goal, right? This is not rocket science. I mean, first things first, you need to know your profit goal. How much do you need to pay yourself? How much does your money need to save? How much do you need to pay a team or freelancers? If you don't know how much you need to make each month to run your business and to be profitable, it's going to be really hard to have a profitable business. So if you take the time to create your revenue and profit goals for the year, then it's really easy to break it down to each month. And then just break it down to each week. That way, if you take, let's just say $100,000 for a round number. If you say, okay, I want to make $100,000 this year. All right, what does that mean for each month? And then what does that mean for each week? Because that way you have these little bite-sized chunks that you can focus on. And once you clearly know what your goal is and what you need to hit every single week to reach that goal, you'll be well on your way to having a more profitable business because you're going to understand, okay, this is my goal. All right, the second thing is a bookkeeping process. So let's have a heart-to-heart, my friend. In my experience, I'd say probably 9 out of every 10 business owners that I've come into contact with don't have a solid bookkeeping process in place. And when you're trying to run a business, that's a bit of a challenge. I mean, for our own personal finances, we may not need to sit down and balance a checkbook every month like we used to have to do in the olden days when I was a youngin'. But we do need to have a bookkeeping process, because when you don't know where you are revenue-wise, when you don't know where your monthly expenses are, when you don't know how much wiggle room you have to invest or not invest, when you don't know what's maybe a cost that's starting to spiral out of control a bit, it can be challenging and really stressful to run your business. All of a sudden you get hit with a bill and you're like, whoa, what happened here? There are many amazing bookkeepers out there who are not that much money each month. And they love bookkeeping. I don't know about you. I do not love it. In fact, I kind of loathe it. There are people out there who love it. They'll keep track of your revenue. They'll keep track of your expenses. They'll give you trends and reports and a snapshot into your business so that you never have to worry, wonder, or guess. And yes, there are absolutely do-it-yourself approaches like QuickBooks, but honestly, I suggest finding an option with a human attached to it so that you don't have to do it or worry about it or stress about it or wonder if you're doing it right. I always think of a bookkeeper as a VA for your record keeping. Like simple, easy, and done. You just send them the information and they make the magic happen. And come tax time, I know I'm good to go. And I hope you do too. But a bookkeeper can be more than that too. You can say, help me with my trends. Like you can ask them to be more of a partner with you as well. That might cost a bit more, which is fine, but make sure that you have a bookkeeping process in place so that you're not surprised or you aren't wondering like, where is my money going? All right, number 3, a clear understanding of your profit drivers or your profitability. When I talk to people about their profitability, especially as we're doing like a launch debrief or doing a Facebook ad campaign review, a lot of times this is the first time they've ever gone deep into how everything comes together. So we're looking at every piece of their funnel, all of their conversion rates, their sales, their costs, and their profit margins. This kind of insight is so powerful and empowering. There's no judgment at all. It's simply feedback. It's great feedback. When in this instance, I spent $2,000 on Facebook ads, and from that, I got $48,000 in sales. Let's break down where all the costs were and what my profit margin was. That can empower you with insights about how to grow your business, about where to make investments, about what makes sense for you. And this process really does not have to be difficult, and it definitely doesn't need to be expensive. In fact, it can be super simple. I've got a spreadsheet that I walk through with my clients, and we just go through and we capture all their insights, opt-in page conversion rates, webinar conversion rates, like just all the tracking stuff, right? We get it on one sheet where we can see everything. Okay, and pretty soon we see, all right, this worked really well. This is an area where we might want to focus a little more next time because it could be even better. And that is awesome. Those insights give you so much understanding about how to run your business. And, even if you just want to capture the insights and write it down on a piece of paper or a whiteboard, you can get a great snapshot into where your business is. So all you have to do is simply answer, how much did you sell, to how many people, and how much did it cost you to sell that? Like if you answer those questions, you're good to go. You can figure out what worked well, and you can just say, okay, did I have a lead magnet? Did I do a Facebook group? Like, where did these people come from? If you start there and you really dive into what drives profitability in your business, you are going to be so empowered to make better choices in your business, better choices about, where to invest, and better choices so that you can create profit without worry for yourself and your business for years to come. It is so awesome to know this stuff. So I'd love to hear how this goes for you. What ahas did you uncover? Do you even do business reviews or postmortems or anything like that? Like mine is a holdover from my corporate days because I used to do these all the time for every single thing that I ran, and we'd have to do them at a minimum quarterly, but usually I was doing them quite a lot more, and they were way more in depth, especially when I was at Microsoft. But for now, it's just I avoided doing these for a long time in my business, and then I started doing them, and the ahas were so they gave me so much confidence because I knew without a doubt I wasn't guessing anymore. And so I'd love to hear how that goes for you as well. Did you find the same thing, or have you ever done them? If not, what are your questions about doing one? What do you think holds you back from doing one? I'd love to hear it. And even if it's simply, I need to do a review on how well my Lead Magnet is doing or how well my email list is growing. That's a great place to start. You don't have to be running like a giant campaign or something like that. All right, hit me up on social media or email me, michelle@michellelevans.com. I'd love to hear about it. And as you were listening to this, did you think of someone else who could use these insights about creating profit without worry in their own business? If you can think of someone who could use this, would you do both of us a big favor and share this episode with them? It's super easy to do from whatever podcasting app you're listening on, or simply share the URL for today's show, which is profitwithoutworry.com/episode-91. And your friend can listen right there on whatever device they're on. And don't forget to download your freebie, 5 Steps to Profit Without Worry. You can get that at today's show notes or profitwithoutworry.com/free so that you can see what it takes to create a movement with your marketing. All right, have an amazing week, and I'll see you back here next week. Same time, same place on another great episode of Profit Without Worry. I'll see you then.